Hey, folks, this is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce for the 4th of April, 2014. Yes, how y'all doing today? You doing good? Awesome. It's Friday. You got the weekend coming up. You got things going on. Yes. So, my question to you is, how can we change things? I say that slowly because I want you to understand the question. How can we change things? Now, a lot of people would say, well, we just need to go out and just get really nasty. No. Peaceful demonstrations, peaceful protesting, civil disobedience, that works. I've seen it. Of course, your politicians don't like the fact that you get out and do what you do, and they don't like the fact that you are free to do that. See, they don't like freedom. They hate freedom. They say to your face that things are just fine. It's like, seriously, have you talked to your city council yet? Have you talked to some of your so-called political leaders in your area? Have you sat down and had a chit-chat with them recently? The thing is that you understand where they're coming from just by the actions they take. How are we going to change things, folks? How are we going to change things? The other thing is it going to make a difference? That's a good question. Well, it's going to make a difference because it's going to take you to decide what direction you want to take your city, state, county, or government into. What direction do you want to take? Now, as we all know, the fascists in Washington, D.C. seem to think that it's, they seem to think that fascism and dictatorships are just fine and socialism is the norm and it's going to work. Well, it hasn't worked in the last 2,000 years, has it? Or more? Has it ever worked? Has socialism ever worked? I don't think so. Matter of fact, it hasn't worked and never will work. Okay? I was talking to some people when I grew up in Stockton, California, and talking to people there who were self-avowed socialists, and they said, we need everybody to be equal, we need all this and all, and they were talking very socialistic philosophies. And I thought to myself, these people don't have a clue. And so I met with one of them, a friend of mine actually, and I told my friend, I said, why do you want socialism? Why do you think it's going to work when it never has worked in the past? Well, they just didn't know how to implement it. Really? I think every leader of socialistic countries said the same thing, and it failed miserably. And the conversation was basically that, the tit-for-tat back and forth, And finally, I realized throughout the conversations I've had with many people on socialism that the most socialistic organization is not the federal government, folks. It's not Washington, D.C. It's your freaking unions, okay? It's your labor unions. Workers of the world unite. I mean, seriously. How corrupt can an organization be when all they want is everybody to make the same wage? Excuse me? Who do you think first came up with the idea of a minimum wage? Okay? Who do you think came up with that? It was the unions. What happened to the market, to the commerce, and everything around that, considering that the minimum wage was a certain level, or what they would say a living wage, and it wasn't? What do you think happened to the prices around? You go to the store, the prices go up because the employer, you have to raise the prices to pay your people a living wage. Now, when I talk about, and this is my point of this podcast, when I talk about a fair market living wage, I'm talking about taking the market into consideration, not the amount of, or not what the employer thinks that position you're in is worth. I'm talking market level wage, fair market living wage. You look at the market, and I say that because some markets in some regions in the United States have a lower cost of living, some have a higher cost of living. And the higher cost of living, people have at least 2.5 jobs on average. And when I say that, I'm talking, minimal, jobs and mostly part-time. They're not, full-time jobs. There's 3 part-time jobs, you know what I mean? So you got to look into those figures as well. But some areas have a higher cost of living. Some have a lower cost of living. Some have, a dedicated workforce for one particular item. They have and then they have the essentials, on outside of that. But look at the market. I say that slowly because I want you to understand the market itself. Okay? People say, I want to get paid what I'm worth. Really? How much are you worth? Go into the market, find that position you are in, and ask yourself, am I worth that much? Knowing the experience and the education that you have on that position, you're going to ask for X number of dollars when you don't have the education or the experience to carry that particular position. This is something that you have to look at, a market value wage, not a business value wage. There's a total difference between that. Look at them, examine them, check them out yourself. Look at the market itself and ask how valuable you are for the market, not how much worth you can get from the market, or you dictate to the market how much you're worth to get from it. It's a whole different ball game when you start looking at market value wages instead of business value wages. Whole different ball game. And again, you got to look at the cost of living in areas. San Francisco is really, really high. Chicago is really high. New York obviously is really high. Dallas, Texas, Miami, Florida, Seattle, Washington. Wages are, the cost of living is high in those areas. Now, you have to also look at supply and demand on human resources, not on anything else. If you are in demand, your experience and education is in demand for the market that you're in, you're going to get the market value wage you deserve. See? Real simple. Your colleges won't teach you this because your governmental indoctrination institutes are going to, dictate to you what the business says. Okay? Not what the market says, what the business says. So, in that market value wage, consider the region, the cost of living, the education and experience you have, number one, in that market, and then you will be able to understand how much value you have in that market, not what the business says you are valued at, what the market values you, what that value is to you, and what it will say you need to be in that market. And of course, education and experience is a key also. You look at both of these things. You look at the business value wage and the market value wage. Well, the business is in the market. It's the same thing. No, it's not. Examine them closely because you're looking at things behind the scenes as well. A boss is going to say, well, I'll start you out at, minimum wage, and then we'll work up from there. And if you're good enough, I'll give you a raise. That's merit pay. Hello? Merit pay. Go look that one up. When you walk into a market and you have the education and the experience in that market for the position that you're seeking or that you have, you're going to get paid the value of that market, not the value your boss places on you in that position. Okay? Two totally different things, folks. Two totally different things. So look that up. Examine that. I wanted to share that with you. I know this. I've been to business college. Hello. Yeah, so look at that. It's there. You can examine it closely. You can have your degrees on your wall that tell you that you know what you're talking about. But when you take all of that away and get rid of all your preconceived ideas, you'll find out that there are two different levels of two different avenues of thought and two different levels at which people will examine these things from. You've got and you can go back and listen to this again. And if you have any input on this, if you have any information, if you have any ideas or concepts pertaining to business value wages or market value wages or just wages in regions and cost of living and stuff like that, I want you to send that information to me, please, at freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. I shall return right after this short break. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce from The Views Expressed. Please come join me on The Views Express Live, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Spreaker.com. Welcome back to the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast. It's one of those days. It's Friday, folks. Hello, it's Friday. How are you? You doing good? Are you happening? Are you good? Do you have your coffee? Or if you're listening to this at night, have you eaten a really good dinner? Are you good? Are you smiling? You're happy? Awesome. Hey, if you would like to sponsor the Wayne S. Pierce Show and the podcast, you can go to thewaynespearceshow.weebly.com, click on the sponsors page, and we'll go from there. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm good. I'll answer any question you have. If you have any questions, please ask. No question is off limits, by the way. Ask me anything you like. If I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. Yes, if you go to the WayneSPierceShow.weebly.com site and you click on the little tab that says More, that first link there is Sponsors page. Those rates are absolutely chiseled in stone. And if you want to, again, if you have any questions, please ask. That's all you got to do. How are you going to know if you don't ask? I'm just saying. Just putting it out there. If you have any questions, email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. You can also go to the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page. I've got a lot of stuff up there as well. If you are into marketing, advertising, whatever, and you have any hints, tips, or, creative thoughts that you want to share with me, you can do that. Thank you. freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. What else, man? Oh, by the way, a couple of shows I want you to check out. You can go to freeamericaradio.us to check out The Views Express Live on at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. And that would be, you'll hear my lovely voice again. And also, check out a couple of shows I have linked up on the page. Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker, distortedreality.podbean.com, and also Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on Facebook. And also Kicking the Capstone with Bob Brutus over at wakingupthemasses.com. And check those shows out. Awesome shows, always. What else? Oh, yes, April is Autism Awareness Month, and April 11th is National Autism Awareness Day. And on April 11th, there will be on talkforautism.com, there will be a radiothon to raise money for the National Autism Association. And, enough of me talking about it. Why don't I let the promo tell you more? Be back right after this.
Hi, everyone. Nick Larson here. You know, as a parent, you can't help but look at your children and dream about what the future holds. But while you're dreaming, think about this. The odds of your child growing up with autism are 1 in 68. Knowing the signs and getting an early diagnosis can make a world of difference. And you can make a difference today by making a donation to the National Autism Association, the charity for Talk for Autism 2.0. Just go to talkforautism.com and click the donate button. Again, that's autism.com.
Hey, welcome back, folks. Coming up to the end of the short podcast. I usually do an hour, but that's usually a live show. But I just want to fill you in on a couple of things. You can email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. I also host the Views Express live, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, unless I'm really, sick as a dog and can't get off the couch. It's Friday, folks. It's the 4th of April, 2014. I'm so glad you're listening to me. Hey, I got a question. If you if you have podcasts or broadcasts or networks that you broadcast your shows on, or if you're on Spreaker.com, please let me know. Promotions are up for me. Promotions are free. It's just not going to cost you a thing for me to promote the crap out of you, okay? But if you're selling something, then that's advertising. So, email me at the email address supplied there on the Spreaker side of things, and we'll work something out. If you go to the WayneSPierceShow.weebly.com site, click on the little tab that says More. And that first link there is the sponsors page. Those rates are absolutely chiseled in stone. They're not going to change, and unless, certain things happen. And then, of course, those are going to change, but not much. What the heck? Anywho, if you have any questions, please ask. No question is off limits. Ask me anything you like, because, hey, if I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. So, yeah. If you are an advertiser, if you have tips, tricks, little things that you like to share with me, please do. freeamericaradio@usa.com. Go to the WayneSPierceShow.weebly.com site, click on More, click on Sponsors page, and those, I was just kidding, folks. Those prices right there on that page are the prices you will pay for the advertising on the Wayne S. Pierce Show, period. Done. There you go. Done. I was just teasing you. I know some of you advertisers out there say, well, if things go up, you got to raise your prices. No, you don't. You see, I used to work in a business that it was, I'll just say there was some retail involved. And the business, had certain prices for certain products that they were selling. And I thought to myself, and my friend also talked to the boss about this as well. And he said, if you have this at a certain price, it's not going to sell. It's not going to move. Has it moved in the last 6 months? No, that's, your prices are too high. You cannot move this item because that price is way above what people want to pay. And so he said, if you take these other items, and let's just have an illustration here. He says, if you have 10 items at a certain price, those items are going to sell because they're at a level at which people can afford them, and they'll move within 6 months. But this bigger item you have for this amount, that's not going to move at all because people don't want to pay that. They don't. That's out of their price range. They're not going to pay it. And so he, talked a little bit about that, and I held on to that thought for a long time, and I thought, well, that's a very, very good explanation on how you can move product, get more money, buy more product, get more money, buy, you know what I mean? I mean, it's really that simple. So if you want to advertise on the Wayne S. Pierce Show, those prices are right in that what I call the Goldilocks area, because you can afford that. And of course you can donate one time, boom, help out, and there you go. You can donate once and bing, you're done. You don't have, unless you want to advertise, I would like that, thank you. But the prices are where you can afford them, I've talked to internet marketing specialists, and they were saying, well, you got to have your prices, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm only a one-man show here, folks. I'm not out to get on iHeartRadio anytime soon. I'm not out to get on XM, Sirius Radio anytime soon, although I would like that, XM Sirius. I would like to have the show on your network. But, it's just one of those things, folks. You got to... When you go into a store, let me give you this example. When you go into a store and you see the prices that are marked, because I've done some wholesaling in my life as well, and when you look at that, you might as well just imagine that price at a position where you cannot even afford it, okay? Because what you see on that retail shelf is about 5 times to probably, I don't know, pick a number. Usually, and I could be wrong in this assessment or this example, but if you see something for $20, you can almost see how much that item is worth, and taking out all the profit and the overhead and all this, you can probably get that item for maybe $5, $4. I could be wrong in that, but I see it all the time. We just purchased some DVDs and some audio CDs and a book and such, and from Amazon.com, and what we paid for it was 100 times less than what the actual website was selling it for. In other words, we went to Amazon.com. We went to the website and we were going, oh, wow, I wonder if we can find this on Amazon.com. So we went to Amazon and boom, it was considerably cheaper than what the website wanted. And so we picked it up and we're going, there you go. People will always go to places and purchase items that they can afford. In other words, why do you think... Now, do yourself, I've got a challenge for you. Go to your local dollar store or whatever it is, Dollar Tree, whatever it may be. Go there, find those items, and then go to places like Walmart or Kroger, Smith's or whatever, and find those items there. Okay? It's come on. Even people who make, and I've heard this, even people who make $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year are going to the Dollar Tree store to buy stuff, okay? Because they're getting tired of paying high prices everywhere, So it's like, so if you have $100 and you say, you know what, I got to carry this $100 for the next week or so because I got to, I got to do this till next payday, then you're going to go to the most least expensive place you can to get what you need just to get by. Now, a lot of people would say, well, I just don't want to get by. I want to live. I want to have the most top-of-the-line stuff. I just want to have it all. I want to have everything. That's stupid. That is the stupid thought. Because if you're making anywhere between $80,000 to $100,000 a year, and then all of a sudden the market falls out from underneath you, where are you going to be when you lose your job? This is what I've always told people that. And it goes back to the market value wage. If you are educated and experienced enough to make that money, okay, and some people are lucky to fall right into it and work themselves up to that position, that's fine. But if you are in that position and you are making the amount of a wage that you believe you're worth or that you deserve, and the market that you're in falls out from underneath of you, what are you going to do? You see what I'm saying? I don't care if you make $100,000 a year. Great. I applaud you for that. But start looking at, saving a lot of that money, because you're not going to have it if the market that you're in falls apart. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, I just wanted to point that out, use those examples. And again, hey, again, if I am wrong, please, or if I've overlooked something, please let me know. freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. More than happy to answer any questions that you have. If I don't know, I will tell you I don't know. And I am more than happy to hear from you if you have ideas or thoughts about what I've talked about today. Please let me know. freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. Play a little break here. I'll come back and say my goodbyes, and you can join me on the Wayne S. Pierce Show at noon Pacific, live, noon Pacific and 3 Eastern. So I shall be back right after this short break. America Matters. Enthusiastically entertaining, educating, enlightening everyone everywhere, while including a unique mix of all forms of media, including the internet, with continual live streaming available for all their shows. Their website is www.americamatters.us. Listen to America Matters on 101.3 Renegade Radio, krng.streamon.fm, or 99.1 FM Talk Radio, weekends at 99.1fmtalk.com, or 12:30 a.m. at 1230kjfk.com. Hey folks, I'm going to get out of here and go away now. I'm going to enjoy my Friday prep for the Wayne S. Pierce Show at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. Also prep for the views expressed today at 4 p.m. where I have Nick Tucker from Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on the show today. We're going to talk about everything from this recent Fort Hood shooting to, whatever is going on in the geopolitical realm of this world. And we're going to tell you who's actually running this whole piece of crap and running it into the ground as they try to take over the internet, try to take over, commerce, try to take over healthcare, the whole schmear, the whole 9 yards. So come join myself with my guest Nick Tucker from distortedreality.podbean.com, and we're going to talk about a whole lot of stuff today. And that's at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. That's broadcasting on freeamericaradio.us, also on Spreaker.com, and also on wakingupthemasses.com on the live broadcast section over there. And we are also micro-broadcasting through wakingupthemasses.com on 1610 a.m. in the Chickamauga, Georgia area. So I want to welcome all those to the views expressed live from the Chickamauga, Georgia area. And also, it's it's Friday. It's the 4th of April. It's 2014. And I hope you folks have a great weekend and a great Friday. And hey, you know what? I'm out of here, folks. I'm going to go away. And I've got a guest on next week So I'll give you more information about that as the time gets closer, and we will go from there. It'll be on the Wayne S. Pierce Show live broadcast at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, and we're going to have fun. It's going to be next Wednesday, but I'll give you more details as it gets closer. So this is the Wayne S. Pierce Show. Go to the WayneSPierceShow.weebly.com site. Check it out and go to the store, purchase some products, and help the Wayne S. Pierce Show and the Free America Radio Network get to the next level. If you want to donate, you can do that. If you want to sponsor the show, please email me or go to the WayneSPierceShow.weebly.com site. Click on that button that says More. Click on the first link that says Sponsors page, and that's what you'll be paying. No more. That's it. That's what you'll be paying. So, enjoy your weekend. Sorry. Excuse me, a little something going on there. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy your weekend, and I'm out of here, folks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye now. Goodbye. Goodbye. Thank you. Goodbye.
Well, goodbye. And don't think it hasn't been a little slice of heaven, because it hasn't.
Oh, yeah. Have a nice trip.